Let's start in mountain pose. So feet together. Make sure your knees are over your ankles. Make sure your hips are over your knees. You want to slightly tuck your tailbone in. Roll our shoulders back and down. Hands equal by the sides. We want to slightly tuck our chin in. So we're aligning our spine here. You feel like there's a string being pulled to the top of your head. Just standing up really tall. We'll rock forward and back, left and right, just to make sure the weight is evenly distributed in your feet. Coming into mountain pose, this is grounding that first chakra that's located at the base of the spine. So this is helping us feel grounded and rooted, not only into our bodies, but into the earth. Just take a moment, ground yourself, come into your body. Get ready for our practice tonight. Okay, let's take a yogic breath. So you put one hand on your belly if you'd like. We're going to inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push the belly in. Let's actually do that a couple more times. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. So we want to focus on our yogic breathing during our practice tonight. We're going to use the breath to activate the postures. So let's create an intention. So bring your hands to your heart. Thumbs focus in on the center of your chest. Eyes closed down. So we're just creating some contact. Connect with our own spirit. So connect with your spirit located in the center of your chest. If you don't see a color, just make one up for your own spirit. And then connect with your healing guides. These are your ancestors. These are your guardian angels, your teachers. And then the highest versions of themselves. So you want to connect with the highest versions of your teachers and your guides. And then the higher power. And we'll create an intention for our practice tonight. And let's inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach up really tall. Coming onto the toes, come down your heels, and then come forward, just slowly warming up your spine. We're going to inhale on the way up. And then exhale, come forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just continue this breathing pattern. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down to your heels, come forward. And then slowly come to the top. Your head's going to come up last. And then come back to mountain pose, feet together. Roll your shoulders back and down. You want to stand up really tall here. We're aligning our spine. We're creating space in between our vertebrae. This is how the energy runs through our astral body, through our spine. So we want to make sure we have lots of space and length. Ground yourself into the earth, activating that first chakra. Okay, let's come to the front of our mat. We are going to do some sun salutations. Okay, so feet together. Bring your hands to your heart. And then we're going to lift through the rib cage by protecting the low back. We're lifting up through the rib cage, not lifting at the low back when we come into our back bend. So we're going to inhale, reach up, lift through the rib cage, and then exhale, dive forward. We'll take a couple breaths here. Just take some deep breaths. Send your breath to those tight spaces. And then we're going to come halfway up. So we're creating a really flat back here. Our shoulders come onto our back. Just creating a really straight spine. We're going to inhale, push against those shins. Exhale, come forward. And then we'll start with our right foot back in a low lunge. So left foot forward. You're going to make sure your knee is over your ankle. Take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to reach our arms up. And then you're just going to lean forward. So you're going to feel the stretch in your right hip flexor, all down the right front of the hip. You can add a little bit of a back bend here. Again, reaching through the rib cage. Take some deep breaths here. And then bring your arms down and then bring that left foot back into plank. So feet together. Actually, let's come down onto our knees. So we're going to spread our fingertips as far apart as we can here because we want to have active hands. So spreading your thumb and your pinky as far apart as you can. And then we're going to come back to plank. And so we're putting weight in our hands. We're pressing down on all the little bones and ligaments in our hands. We're strengthening our hands. And then you can rock the weight to the front of the palms. Keep your butt low. Zip your navel up into your spine. And then keeping your elbows by your sides, we're going to come halfway down into chaturanga. Keep your elbows by your sides. And then come all the way down. We're going to come into cobra pose. Sorry, let's come into sphinx pose. So elbows under the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. You want to really feel the expansion across the chest. And then come down. And then spreading your fingertips as far apart as you can. Let's push back into downward dog. Activating our hands here again. Our feet are hip width apart. Our hands are hip width apart. You can look either between your toes or up towards your navel. Take some deep breaths here. You want to drive your tailbone towards the sky. You want to drive your heels down towards the mat. You can bend your knees if that feels good. You can pedal your feet left and right. Make sure you're taking those yogic breaths. Really inhale and exhale. And then look forward. We're going to bring the right foot forward into a low lunge. Make sure the right heel is over the ankle. Take some deep breaths here. And then we're going to inhale, lift our arms up into our slight back bend. So we're going to push that left hip forward. We're squaring our hips to the front of the room, but push that left hip forward so that way you feel a stretch in the left hip flexor. Onto your slight back bend. We're lifting through the rib cage here. And then the arms come down, and then bring that left foot forward, and then slowly roll to the top. Your head's gonna come up last. Coming back to mountain pose, just take your time. And then come back to mountain pose, feet together, center yourself. So coming back to mountain pose. So you want to stand up really tall, roll your shoulders back and down, tuck your chin slightly in. So from here, we're going to do some neck rolls. So we'll bring our chin to our chest. We'll do 3 to the left. Just take your time. Your time, come back to center, come back to mountain pose. We'll switch sides. Bring your chin to your chest, 3 to the other side. And then when you're finished, come out to mountain pose, stand up really tall, slightly tuck your chin in, aligning your spine. Okay, so let's do our sun salutation on the other side. So come to the top of your mat, bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to protect our low back by coming into a back bend and lifting through the rib cage. So we're going to inhale, lift up, exhale, and then let's come forward, bending at the hips. We'll take a couple breaths here. Really take some deep breaths and send your breath to any tight spaces you may have. And then we'll bring the left foot back into a low lunge. So right foot, the knee is over the ankle. And then from here, we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to bring the right arm up and then look up towards that right hand. And then bring the right arm down. We're going to bring the right foot back into plank. But first we're going to come onto our knees, and then we're going to spread our fingertips as far apart as we can here. So we're activating our hands. So spread your pinky and your thumb as far apart as you can. You want your middle fingers facing straight. You want them straight. And then when you've activated your hands, we're going to come into plank. So we're pushing down on all the little muscles and ligaments in our hands. We're strengthening our hands. And then you can shift the weight to the front of the palms. You want to make sure your shoulders stay over your wrists. You can kind of shift the weight forward. So that way you're putting some of the weight in the top of the hands. Keep the butt low. Lift the navel up into the spine. And then keep your elbows by your sides, coming down into chaturanga, come halfway down, and come all the way down. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So elbows under the shoulders. I'm going to inhale, lift up. So really feel the expansion across your chest here, activating that fourth chakra, the heart chakra. Slowly come down and spread our fingertips here and then push back into downward dog. Take some deep breaths here. Drive your heels towards the mat. You can pedal your feet left and right if that feels good. You can shake your head yes or no. You want to shake your head out a little bit. And then we're going to look forward, and then we're going to bring that left foot forward into a low lunge. So make sure your knee stays over your ankle. And then we're going to come into a twist. So bring the left arm up, and then look up towards that left hand. and then bring the left arm down, and then bring that right foot forward, and then slowly roll to the top. Your head's gonna come up last. Come back to mountain pose. Feet together, roll your shoulders back and down, slightly tuck your tailbone in, make sure your weight is evenly distributed in your feet. Rock forward and back, left and right. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, let's come into chair pose. So feet hip width apart. We're gonna bring all of our weight into our heels. So inhale, bring your arms up, and then make sure knees are behind your toes. Bring all of your weight into your heels. Look forward. Take some deep breaths here. If you want to activate this pose, you can lift your toes here. Make sure you're taking those yogic breaths. See if you can go down any lower. And then let's release that. Inhale, reach up really tall. Come onto your heels, bend forward at the hips, come into ragdoll, grab the elbows, bend the knees. Drop the arms, bring the right hand to the left foot, and then inhale, reach the arm up. Coming into a twist. And then come back down. Let's bring the left hand to the right foot. Inhale, bring the arm up. And come back to center. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's gonna come up last. Come back to mountain pose. Feet together. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stand up really tall. Okay, so let's come into another forward fold. So inhale, reach up really tall, come onto your toes. Exhale, come forward, coming into our forward fold. So you can grab behind the legs here. And then we're gonna take the two peace fingers and we're gonna wrap them around our toes. Bring your elbows out to the sides and bring your chest as close to your thighs as you can. Let's inhale, lift up. And then exhale. Bring your chest as close to your thighs as you can. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then release that. Let's walk our feet back out into downward dog one more time. Really spread your fingers here. See if you can get your feet hip width apart. Let your head go. Let your neck go. See if you can feel lengthening in your spine. And then from here, let's come onto our knees, come into child's pose, feet together, your knees are either together or hip width apart. Our hands are going to be together here. Take some deep breaths. Okay, so let's come into a seated position, and we are going to do fists of anger. So okay, so our thumbs are inside the palms of the hands, under the pinky mound. You're going to bring the fingers over the thumbs. Our hands are out in front of us. We are doing O mouth breath, breathing through the navel or pumping the navel as we breathe this way. And then before we start, let's just think of something that's making us really angry. Because sometimes when you're doing the posture, it's hard to think about that. So just take a moment, think about something that's pissing you off, and then we're going to use that while we're doing fists of anger. Think about that. That's going to fuel your movement. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Interlace the fingers. Hold the breath. Imagine white light all around you. Exhale. Inhale. Project the white light all around you. Inhale. Exhale. Roll the shoulders, the neck, and the jaw. Okay, so we're going to come into our addiction meditation. So thumbs on the temples, lightly resting on the temples. We are mentally saying sa, ta, na, ma, while we gently clench the back molars. We're going to activate this by imagining the mantra coming in through the top of the head, through the 7th chakra, out through the 3rd eye, through the 6th chakra. So we're saying sa, ta, na, ma. Eyes closed down. Inhale. exhale. Okay, let's come into cat-cow. It's coming onto all fours. We're going to inhale, look up, exhale, chin to chest. So remember, 3 minutes of cat-cow. We're balancing all of the chakras, because when we balance the third chakra, it's balancing all the rest of them, because that's how the energy comes in. It comes into the third chakra, and then down to the second, down to the first, and up to the top of the head. So keep going. Okay, let's do one more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Okay, and then let's come into a seated position. We are going to do Sat Kriya. So we're going to come onto our knees. And we are going to bring the hands over each other and fingers interlace the fingers except for the index fingers, and then women, we're going to cross the left thumb over the right. So like this, men right over the left, left over the right, and then we are keeping the spine straight and the arms are coming up over the head, and we are saying Sat, and we're bringing the navel in towards the spine, and then Nam out. Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam, Sat, Nam. So you're bringing the navel in towards the spine. Okay. Sat, Nam, 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 sit, 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 nam. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Pull the Mula Bandha, rectum, sex organs, navel. Feel the energy draw up the spine. And exhale. Okay, let's come onto our backs. Bring your knees into your chest. Just take a couple of breaths here. You can rock left and right if that feels good. Just let that energy circulate around in your spine. We were working that third chakra by bringing the navel into the spine, pumping the navel. Okay, then let's bring our feet up, grab behind the calves and bring your feet in towards your chest. Take some deep breaths here. And then bring your knees into your chest again. We're going to come into an inversion. So let's bring our feet up, pointing the toes, and then using the hands on the low back, come into your inversion. Let's take some deep breaths here. And then let's come into plow pose. Let's bring our feet forward, just slowly. And let's bring our feet back up to the top and back into our inversion. Hands at the low back, and then come down one vertebrae at a time. Make sure you're still breathing. Bring your knees into your chest. And then let's bring our feet to the mat. Let's come into bridge pose. So bring your heels as close to your butt as you can. And then your palms are going to stay on the mat. And then inhale, lift your hips up. Take some deep breaths here. You can stay here, or you can clasp your hands, come up under your shoulders so you can get a little bit higher. And then come down one vertebra at a time. Bring your knees into our chest one more time. Rock left and right. Give your organs a good massage. And then bring your feet to the mat. Let's come into Shavasana. Take up as much space on your mat here as you'd like. Let your feet fall to each side. Palms face the ceiling. Go ahead and take 5 yogic breaths here. You can place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart if you'd like. And just start to relax. Just let your breath fall back into its natural rhythm. Start to let your brow smooth over. Just let the little muscles of the inner brow relax. Start to let your eyes relax. Feel a slight smile at the corner of the eyes. Start to let your jaw relax. Let your tongue fall back into the root of your mouth. Add a slight smile at the corner of your lips. See if you can feel inside your neck and your shoulders. Just focusing on the tension that's there. See if you can let the tension move from ice to water, water to gas. Moving down your arms, just focus on your hands. See for a moment if you can focus on the inside of your hands. And you feel the tingling life that's there right now. The life pulsating inside your hands and your fingertips. Healing yourself from the inside out. Take a moment and focus on your heart. See if you can feel that coherent state that we've been talking about. The electric field that your heart creates. It's in coherence with the rest of your body. Add a smile to our heart. Focusing on the belly, just let the belly relax. Add a slight smile across the navel. Focusing on the hips, let your hips relax. Adding a smile from hip to hip. Start to feel the length and the volume of your legs as they take up space on your mat. see for a moment if you can see your body as a whole, each piece of it right now. And gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some life back into your limbs. And then bring your arm up over your head and roll over onto your side. And then come up into a seated position. Eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart. So we'll end with spirit to spirit and healing streams of grace. So we'll acknowledge our own spirit. Just focus on the center of your chest. If you don't see a color, just make one up. And then acknowledge your healing guides, your ancestors, your guardian angels, the highest versions of themselves, and then the higher power. And ask for healing streams of grace to come in and whatever you'd like. And that'll look like pink streams of light coming over us. And we just thank the healing streams of grace. Thank you. And thank you for coming to my class. Namaste.